start with the NFL. Joe is going to love this segment. So if you don't follow us on Instagram at the Goldmine Walt, as we've already said, Joe put up a post of Carson Wentz, and it turns out that Carson Wentz, his turnover count is actually rivaling his touchdown count on both through the air and on the ground. Man has 12 touchdowns and then 5 rushing touchdowns, but he has 4 fumbles lost on the year and 12 picks. So not a great start. His QBR is in the high 40s, which is embarrassingly low. And Joe put up something that I found very interesting. It was, should they turn to Jalen Hurts? And he was saying that Carson Wentz is helping other teams more than his own team. And it's an interesting take. It got some good engagement. And we're going to make that our starting leading question of the night. So, Joe, the Eagles snatching control of that NFC East with the win over the Cowboys, but it was over a third-string quarterback. It was an ugly game. Wentz had 123 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, and 2 fumbles against the Cowboys defense that has been atrocious all year. I'm sorry. So the question remains.
Don't be sorry. We had a great game. Like, come on.
I mean, I'm sorry that I was bashing your defense, but regardless, the question remains here. Is Carson Wentz the primary source of the blame for the Eagles' rocky start, Joe?
No, he's not the primary source of blame. I mean, he's not helping. But, like, when he's, like, the only healthy player, luckily they're getting players back off of IR and just injury in general. But, like, he hasn't been like an elite quarterback that, Eagles fans say he is all the time. And as a Cowboys fan that knows plenty of Eagles fans, I know they think he's elite for some reason.
Carson Wentz is not an elite quarterback. This season proves it. I don't really think I need to go into it, but if you look at the numbers alone, they tell you pretty much the full story. And look, I don't want to fully blame Carson Wentz. Look at the roster he has right now. A banged-up third-string O-line, a defense that's in decent shape, but whatever. And, I mean, he's gotten 3 wins, so you can't fully – you can say part of that's the defense. But, look, yeah, running back issues, offensive line issues. His receiving core has been depleted all season. But here's the big thing we need to focus on. He got some pieces back. Goddard's back. Jalen Reagor's back. Travis Fulgham's emerged as a great receiver, and part of that is – due to Carson Wentz, but also part of that is because it seems like Fulgham's a better talent than we thought at the start of the year. I just don't think that an elite quarterback, even with this depleted a roster, would be struggling this much. I mean, look, Deshaun Watson is maybe the comparable case here, and he has maybe a little more talent on the roster, but Watson's numbers
I'd say Fuller is like a lot better than Fulgham.
Yeah, 100%. Like the O-line's a little better. The Fuller's obviously better. His tight end situation is actually arguably worse than the Eagles currently, because I think Goddard's better than any tight end.
No, he just got
roster.
Goddard back. So
yeah, I mean, I
before
said,
that,
yeah,
it was better.
Of course. But, I wouldn't – Darren Fells and Jordan Akins, bro? I don't know. But here's –
who's the Eagles' third string?
I don't even know. Yeah, but when it was just Ertz without Goddard. But my thing on this is, look, Watson is maybe the only kind of comparable case, and even he had better weapons, but his numbers are ungodly better. And I don't think either of us here would argue Deshaun Watson's worse than Carson Wentz. So – I was gonna say. But look, Wentz, you can't fully put the blame on his shoulders. He's a great quarterback, and I mean, when he has pieces and when his back's against the wall, he performs. But right now, I can't look at what he's doing and say comfortably that he's elite, because I don't think he's in that echelon. He's good. He's maybe even great, but I cannot put him in the top tier. And I think that even an elite quarterback without these weapons would at least perform a little better and not struggle with the Dallas Cowboys defense. The next topic here we're going to go into on Carson Wentz is, do you think Wentz can turn it around? And if not, do you think it's time to go to Hurts? Because you asked this question on the Instagram page. I obviously don't think that they should go to Hurts, but I'm curious to hear your take.
So follow the Instagram page. Obviously, you can go to the YouTube page and just click on the right corner with the Instagram and just give us a little follow. You can see our story, like the story where I asked, is Carson Wentz the problem for the Eagles? And we got the most success on that story because 20 people responded.
20 people? Okay. Yeah. I did not see the numbers on that.
18 people said he was the problem.
I said no.
Meaning 2 people said he wasn't. So yeah, that was an interesting statistic. It's not that big of a sample size, but thought it was worth pointing out. Yeah, it's not that hard to turn it around right now. I think he's definitely going to be making the playoffs, but that's not saying much.
Yeah.
I think if you look at it, if Dak Prescott was still playing, I feel like the Cowboys would be, leading the division by 3 games already. And at that point, I don't think Wentz would be able to turn it around. Right now, yeah, I think he can. I don't think he'll get out of the playoffs. Get past the first round, obviously. If he does, then, kudos to him.
Yeah, maybe we reevaluate that conversation we just had.
We'll definitely have to reevaluate it because, right now, if the playoffs started right now, they would be playing the Packers.
Yeah, that's not happening.
And so, if Wentz pulls the dub out against them, then, oh my gosh.
Then we're having a conversation.
We're going to be like, is Wentz only good in the playoffs?
Well, actually, he hasn't really played much in the playoffs, just given his injury history. Put a half.
He's never played a full game.
That's true. It's very true. I'm going to address this question as well.
Yeah.
Look at the upcoming schedule the Philadelphia Eagles have. At New York, that defense is okay. It's serviceable. Then at Cleveland, trash defense, especially the secondary. Versus Seattle, that secondary is terrible. At Green Bay, that's a tougher matchup. Versus New Orleans, that could go here or there. At Arizona, hard. At Dallas, which should be a field day. And then versus Washington, which could be a little trickier. This schedule doesn't pop as a tremendously hard schedule for the rest of the season.
Browns, with the horrible O-line and against Mel's
that could be problematic. But also Wentz is super mobile. So, look, I think that secondary is bad enough.
He got the most sacks when playing the Cowboys.
Yeah, I know. But
the O-line's not really helping his case.
Yes, I agree. But I think that secondary is not phenomenal. Regardless, that schedule doesn't exactly pop off the page. I'm sure you can agree on that. It doesn't pop as something where it's oh my God, we're playing the hardest schedule in the league for the next 8 games. The fact is, this should be a team that should win the NFC East. They're top of the NFC East. And even if you don't have full confidence in Wentz to perform throughout the season, it would be bonkers to go to Jalen Hurts. When you're first in the division, you're doing everything you need to do right now to get a playoff spot. Why turn away from your quarterback, risk things getting mixed up, and then potentially jeopardize your lead at the top of the NFC East? So for me, it's both a decision where it's look, Carson Wentz is still a good quarterback, and 2, it's just not pragmatic at all to switch away from the guy who's gotten you to a record good enough to win the NFC East, even though, of course, the Eagles don't look exactly like a Super Bowl or even divisional round contender at the moment. So, Joe, I guess we're going to combine these questions here. So after that shaky performance and the spell the Eagles have gone through, I want to get your evaluation on this. Do you think that the Eagles are a surefire playoff team? And also, do you think they have any chance of winning a playoff game? And don't consider the current playoff picture now, because obviously the Packers could move up and they could wind up with a totally different opponent.
Well, yeah, I do feel like that would happen. They might actually be first in the division after their win last night.
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah.
But yeah, I do think they are a surefire playoff team unless Garrett Gilbert becomes, a great NFL quarterback in the next 2 days and beats the Steelers. And yeah, I think it's a surefire road to the playoffs. The biggest challenge they have now is the Washington football team.
Which I didn't think we'd be saying that at the beginning of the season.
And even then, their secondary is depleted after losing Landon Collins for the season. Right?
Landon Collins.
So, yeah, when that's your main competition now, then, yeah, you should expect a surefire path to the playoffs. If you don't get a playoff spot, then, you might want to look at you want to take a deep, long look at your roster and coaching staff, because that's unacceptable.
I think Doug Peterson will be out the door if they miss the playoffs. I think that's just completely a foregone conclusion. I agree. I think, look, as we talked about, this Philadelphia Eagles team, if you're an Eagles fan watching this, I don't think me or Joe thinks you're a good football team. Like, I think we can both agree on that. Maybe fully healthy, but
fully healthy,
you're a pretty solid team. But I don't think even fully healthy. I don't know if they're winning a playoff game.
I think fully healthy, yeah, they're really good.
It's more of look, they're not going to win the Super Bowl fully healthy. I don't even think they win a playoff game just with the way the NFC is loaded right now. But regardless, that's an alternate universe. They're not fully healthy, and so
they never are.
And I don't think, and it's unrealistic to expect any football team to be fully healthy. Of course, the Eagles are at historic pace. But my thing on this is, yeah, I think the Eagles have to be the lock for the NFC East, and I don't want to jinx it, but I mean, you look at the teams in this division. You really think the Giants, the Eagles, or the Cowboys, the Giants, the football team, or the Cowboys are really pulling a win outside that division? Probably not. So I think it's clear the Eagles get in. I don't think they're winning a playoff game with the way their roster is currently aligned, even if they get people healthy. I mean, look, if they're running in at Green Bay, if they're running in at Tampa, I don't see them winning either of those games. And maybe we're overestimating Tampa after the last couple of weeks, but I don't know. This Philadelphia Eagles team, the way it's at least currently set up, doesn't inspire me.
You are.